Hold up.
Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdut's Newsstand, and today we're going to talk about some news that came out yesterday. I did briefly mention, but I wanted to do a dedicated video to this because I do think it is big news, and it is probably the beginning of things to come. And that is that Tom Taylor has now received a new exclusive contract with DC Comics. He actually announced this on Twitter, simply saying, "I'm excited to announce that I have signed an exclusive contract with DC Comics. I can't wait to share everything we have planned for the future. You'll see. Up, up, and away." Pretty simple, but it is a big deal because when Daniel Cherry came to DC Comics, he basically revamped all of the exclusive contracts, and this is the first one that we've seen publicly announced. Now, I am not saying that there are ones that we don't know about, like as maybe Joshua Williamson has one. He would be the only one I would gander to say probably does. I don't think they have any exclusives with the likes of Bendis or Tom King. But in this instance, is this the first public one since Daniel Cherry stepped on? So this is significant in a way that it could be a pattern of things to come, or the beginning. We could see more announcements very similar to this because I think they learned their lesson. And what I mean by that is the fact that we saw James Tynion, who took the downward spiral of sales that we saw throughout Tom King's Batman and brought it back up to what it should be selling. It was selling over 200,000. Now, a lot of those were keys, and some of that, of course, was due to the amazing variants by Francesco Mattina and some of the others. But he did a good job of bringing Batman out of that downward spiral and bringing the sales back up in many instances, like I said, over 200,000. Now, where they learned their lesson was they lost him. And I do believe from the Tiny Onion stuff that we have seen throughout the newsletter that it is possible they actually gave him this option first. And he decided to go with Substack because he did say he had a couple contracts to go over. But Tynion is going to be gone. And that is a big draw. Tynion did a pretty decent job with Batman. He's done a better job with some of the other stuff I like of his indies, but he did a good job, and now they're losing that. Now they have lost that, rather. He is off Batman now. We saw Williamson start Batman, and we also have him leaving, I believe, in April when it comes to the Joker title. Now, the Joker title, to me, has been mildly lackluster, but we won't go into that too much. We're going to talk about Tom Taylor and his body of work and why I think this is a really strong, smart move for DC Comics. Now, most of you guys probably already know, but I am a Tom Taylor fan. I have really enjoyed his body of work, and I would say almost all of it. Almost every single thing I pick up from Tom Taylor, I enjoy. There are a very few amount of, I would say less than 10 writers that when they are on a book, I pick it up no matter what. Tom Taylor is one of those. I also have people like Ram V, Joel Jones, Joshua Williamson, Mark Millar. There are plenty of them. Tom Taylor's on that list. I absolutely love his body of work. He really got me hooked when he did Injustice. Now, Injustice was a fantastic video game. That is hands down easily said. But the comic is what really made me fall in love when I had left comics for a little bit. It's what made me come back. Tom Taylor and Mike S. Miller's art on that was so great. It really brought things around when I had felt I didn't enjoy comics for a few years. And they really, really brought me back into it. So there is a lot that he did with Injustice that I think was really smart. Like the simple, thing where we got, Batman was Bruce Wayne. you put it out on social media and it seemed like it would sound silly, but Injustice in that universe, it actually worked really well. Now we're also seeing him currently writing Dark Knights of Steel, which was amazing. We've only got 2 issues out so far, both of them so good. I definitely recommend that book. We've got him right now on Son of Kal-El, which again to me isn't bad. It's not my favorite title that Tom Taylor has ever wrote. The annual I have not read. I have glanced through it a little bit, but I haven't read it yet. But as far as what we've seen so far, it's not bad. It's pretty middle of the road for me. Now, when it comes to his Nightwing run, I love it. I absolutely love his Nightwing run. I think he's bringing the heart back to Dick Grayson, and it feels very vindicative of older times. And I really do enjoy what he's doing with Heartless and what he's doing with Babs. Like, come on. Everybody loves what he's doing with Babs. Or, yeah, I guess I said that right. There's probably a joke in there somewhere, but I really like it. He just wrapped up The Detective, which was really good. It was Old Man Bruce leaving, right? And we had a villain named Equilibrium, and it had a ending as of last week. And we basically see why Batman is important and why balance is important and why we had this villain named Equilibrium taking out everybody that Batman had saved, and he has to go through the steps on figuring that one out. Another really great, 6-issue mini limited run series, right? I absolutely love it. His Deceased, another one that people really are fond of. He created a whole brand new universe, and it was so good. And he actually got practice during that Deceased run, writing John Kent as Superman. And it shows. He wrote him great. He did write him very similar to his father, and I'm hoping we don't see that transfer over too much. But Deceased is another one that is amazing. Hellblazer, Rise and Fall 1 through 3. It's a Black Label book. So it's going to be a little bit more, dare I say, edgy. I don't know what to call it. Another great book by Tom Taylor. I love Constantine anyway. So that book to me was very fun, very dark. Very kind of coolish dark, right? I really enjoyed it. His Suicide Squad run, it's won awards. It's done a whole bunch of stuff, but it really gave us kind of what I loved out of most of it, which was Wink and Airy. I've talked about those characters quite a few times on this channel, and I love them. I really think that they are a good addition to the Suicide Squad, and we're actually seeing them in Son of Kal-El, and they're kind of bringing everything together. Right? Everything's connected with the Gamora stuff, the going and experimenting on these people, and they were experimented on in Suicide Squad. So it's all connected, right? And we see him write a couple things in Legends of the Dark Knight, and he's wrote some stuff as far as like the Green Arrow anniversary. And I know he's written for Marvel, those of which I have not read because I am not a Marvel person. I can't speak to the quality on those. I have heard good things about the Laura Kinney stuff. I have heard less good about his X-Men Red. He also did Seven Secrets and The Deep. So there is a lot of body. Oh, he worked on Star Wars quite a bit. I do know that. There's a lot of body of work that this man has. And I definitely, his Authority. I forgot about his Authority. Always good. Love Wildstorm characters, but his Authority is fantastic. So that's all I'm going to talk about, his body of work, or I can just keep going. But yes, this is a very smart move, DC. Don't let the talent that you have slip away and be bought up by the likes of people in Marvel or IDW. Well, probably not them right now. Boom. Image. The going creator owned is very fashionable right now. A lot of people are doing it because it's a smart move and you have the rights to your characters. Get these people under a contract while you can, or you're going to lose them. You've already made that mistake with Tinian. You already have. Now we need, a couple more exclusive, whether it is Joshua Williamson, which I'm not really clear on that one. I know he had one in 2016, so I bet he still does have one, but I'm not sure. And Joelle Jones, get some of these people under their exclusives and get a fundamental foundation for the characters that you have and for the people that can write the characters correctly. And Tom Taylor is in that boat. He's written almost every character in the DC universe, whether it is on Injustice or DC's. He's at least had a chance to write them. He knows what he's doing. Very smart move. I'm excited to see what he does next. Anyways, let me know, of course, what you guys think about this contract, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.